Hello and welcome to Hot Tea with Holly. I am Holly and I am having a cup of hot tea. Literally, you can see it steaming. Can you see it? Just brewed it, just took it off my little tea maker that I keep here on my desk. How are you? Welcome to Hot Tea with Holly. So today I'm going to be sharing with you specifically how to strength train to get lean. Now, there are so many reasons to strength train. I talk about it all the time. You probably know some of the reasons, but specifically today, we're going to be talking about how to use strength training to get lean. And now you might be thinking, well, yeah, duh, isn't that why anyone would strength train? And the truth is actually no. So in my community, I help women use strength training and intentional nutrition to build the body that they need to keep up with the life that they love. And strength training has so many benefits. Women around the world are using strength training for a number of reasons, and it's not only to get lean. Now, using myself as an example, the reason why I strength train every single week has nothing to do with body leanness. I'm actually pretty happy with where my body fat is most of the time. Sometimes I need to tighten it up a little tiny bit, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with leanness. And the truth is, strength training has been related to so many positive health markers. It is absolutely one of the best tools you can use to stay healthy and avoid a lot of the chronic diseases like obesity, type 2 diabetes, osteopenia, osteoporosis, adult onset weight gain, the fat gain that tends to happen as you get older, the risk of injuries, the risk of falls, risk of bones breaking. There's so many reasons to be using strength training. But today we're specifically talking about how to strength train to get lean, very specifically. So the one thing I notice in my community with my women is that when I ask them specifically, what are your top 3 goals? Almost always the number one goal is I want to feel tighter. I want to be smaller. I want to look more athletic. I want to feel lean. But also, so frequently, the number 2 or number 3 motivation is just to feel better, to be healthy, and to be able to live life in a way that keeps up with life, which is exactly why my mission is to help you build the body that you need to keep up with the life that you love, because it's not just about getting lean. But today we're going to talk about some specific steps and ways that you can use strength training to get lean. Because these days out there in internet world, so many people are talking about using cardio to get lean, dieting to get lean, using macros to get lean, doing HIIT classes to get lean, using Peloton to get lean. Today, we're talking specifically about how to use strength training to get lean, because really and truly, when you look at the evidence, when you look at the research, and when you talk to someone like myself who's been training bodies for 30 years now, you know, strength training is really the only thing that's going to help you get lean in the long term, in the most sustainable way, the most productive way. It really is your most powerful tool for getting lean, whether you want to lose 4 pounds or whether you want to lose 40 pounds. Strength training is where it's at. I'm going to be sharing with you specifically how to get lean in 4 steps, and I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to increase your resistance levels during your strength workouts so that you can do it effectively without injury, so that you can build the gorgeous shape to your body and your muscles that you want. Welcome to Hot Tea with Holly. I was talking to my best friend earlier today. I have several best friends, but I was talking to my number one earlier today. And I said to her, so I'm not doing tea time with Holly on Monday anymore. And I'm not doing live with Holly on Wednesdays anymore. It's all been rolled into Hot Tea with Holly. And she giggled and she's like, I think it should be tea with hot Holly or hot Holly and tea. And I was like, that's pretty funny. So welcome to a cup of tea with hot Holly. I'm having a cup of PG Tips That's been my go-to lately. If you're having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a caffeinated beverage or an herbal tea or even water, share with me what beverage we are enjoying together today. Happy Tuesday. I would love to hear from you. Give me an update. How was your day? What's going on? What's new for you? Tell me. I want to know, what is your orientation to strength training or lifting weights or weight training, whatever you want to call it? What is your orientation? Have I convinced you enough that it is the most important activity that you can be engaged in each week? Are there things you don't understand? What do you want to learn? In a moment, I'm going to teach you exactly how to strength train to get lean and how I do it. But first, my tea is at the perfect temperature now. I boil it. I give it a big boil. My black tea, I like it to steep for at least 5 minutes. Then I add my maple syrup, and at about 5 minutes, it's at the perfect temperature, and I tend to suck it down. So if you're having tea, let me know. Heidi is here. Oh, Heidi is having white vanilla grapefruit from Harney & Sons. Why have you been holding out on me? I don't even know this tea, Heidi. Do share. White vanilla grapefruit. Is it a white tea or is it an herbal? Share with us. So those of you that know me know I'm a huge fan of Harney & Sons. By the way, this is not product placement whatsoever, nor is my PG Tips. If any of you know any of the wonderful people at PG Tips or Harney & Sons, would you put in a good word for me? Because the truth is, I would love to be sponsored by either one of those companies because I am such a huge fan of Harney & Sons, PG Tips. I also really love Upton Tea. Upton Tea is another tea company that I absolutely love. That is one of the places where I get a lot of my loose leaf tea. But lately it's been Harney & Sons. I'm obsessed with their Japanese sencha. I think I talked about that last week. I'm also obsessed with their black hot cinnamon spice. Heidi, you've got to try their hot cinnamon spice. They have an herbal version, a green version, and a black version. It's to die for. And it has won several awards. It legitimately is a very famous tea, the hot cinnamon spice from Harney & Sons. But today's a PG Tips kind of day because that's just kind of the girl that I am today. Rona, my friend, is here. Tracy Hand, pineapple juice. Okay, you guys, Tracy wins for the most unique beverage each week. Tracy, you get the audience award for most unique beverage. Today she's having pineapple juice, which I love. So I am a B blood type, and those of you guys that know me know I very much ascribe to eating according to my blood type. I know you may criticize it. I know you may have your comments. I know there's not a lot of research to support it. That all being said, after being educated in fitness and nutrition and being in this industry for 30 years and practicing blood type eating now for, I think 15 years, actually longer than that, probably more like 20 years, I personally see the value in it. As a B blood type, we love pineapple. And I never drink pineapple juice. So Tracy, thank you for that suggestion because I do eat pineapple. B blood types, Rona, this might be a good note for you. B blood types thrive on pineapple. And watermelon. Now, Rona, I know you don't eat watermelon, but for those of us that do eat watermelon that are a B blood type, watermelon, pineapple is a great combination for B blood types. There's a little tip you didn't even expect today. Heidi, this is the first time I'm having it. It's a white tea. Okay, it smells amazing and it's mild. I'm going to let it steep longer. So Heidi, let me know. Here's one thing that I have noticed with some flavored white teas. I've got one in my kitchen right now. They smell amazing, and sometimes they don't taste as good as they smell. So I recently got I think it's heirloom pear white tea from Harney & Sons that smells divine, but I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the palate of it. I'm so sad because I bought one of those beautiful little tins and I don't enjoy it. I think I might mix it with some matcha or maybe add a little bit of maple syrup to it. I'm going to see if I can doctor it. But as a straight tea, I don't enjoy it. So Heidi, you're going to have to let me know. Welcome. If you're just popping in, please say hello. Welcome to Hot Tea with Holly. I'm live here on Facebook every Tuesday at 1 o'clock on the East Coast time for a new episode of Hot Tea with Holly. I have a big announcement. I'm so excited. I finally hired a new team member. I have a new assistant. Her name is Christina. I adore her. And she and I have been working so furiously behind the scenes. These Hot Tea with Holly episodes are going to be shared and repurposed and republished in a number of places. So stay tuned, because if you ever have to miss an episode of Hot Tea with Holly in the future, you're going to be able to find it on YouTube. You're going to be able to find it on my blog. I'm even going to send you an email recap of the highlights. So let's jump into today's conversation. How to strength train to get lean. Let me know right now if getting lean, listen up, is one of your top 2 goals. Because I know it's one of your top 3 goals, but is it one of your top 2 goals? Is getting leaner in the top 2 for you? See, for me, it's not. But I want to know about you, because I'm here to really give you the best free resources on my experience, helping women use strength training to really create the body that they want, to keep up with the life that they love. It's all about helping you to get a stronger, leaner, fitter body so that you also feel stronger in your own personal life. So let me know if getting lean is one of your goals, and let's dive in before we waste any more time here. How does that sound? Okay, so first and foremost, we need to talk about the concept of losing weight versus losing fat. Okay, sorry, I lost my train of thinking there for a minute. Losing weight versus losing fat. Now, let's change the language and take it a step further. These days, I'm a huge fan of shifting that language to releasing extra body fat that you don't need and releasing any extra body weight that you might not need. I do think reducing your body fat, and some of you it may be very important for you to reduce your body weight, but I do think it's valuable to take a look at the words that you're using. And so one of my goals for you today is to start to shift your language. So it's not about losing weight anymore. It's really not. And if you're able to let go of that from your vocabulary, that alone is going to help you get leaner faster. It really does trigger your brain in a different way to focus on different things. The name of the game is to help you build lean muscle mass so that that lean muscle mass releases and allows that extra body fat that you don't need to just be transmuted into different energy and burned off as fuel by those beautiful, gorgeous muscles that you're cultivating. So how to strength train to get lean really does come down to building lean muscle mass. And when you're building lean muscle mass, there's going to be a change in the heaviness of your body. And we refer to that how much your body weighs, your body weight. So when really, ultimately, if you're looking to get lean, what this becomes about is not looking at the scale as much and really focusing on getting lean. So if you want to get lean, let's let go of losing weight and let's start talking about using your muscle to burn off any extra body fat that you don't need. There is an ideal body fat range. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay, guys, FYI, I have a new camera set up, and I think every now and then it kind of resets. Heidi, let me know. Did it just stop for a moment or did it stay with me? I think it kind of clicked off and then clicked back on. We might have that little technical glitch from time to time here with this camera. Hopefully you didn't see it, but I saw it on my end. Anyway, it really becomes about using strength training to build your lean Muscle mass. Okay, Heidi, thank you. I got to figure out why it does that. So glad it clicked back on though, because this camera is so much better. So let's talk about body composition, because that is what it's about. The name of the game, if you want to become smaller, tighter, leaner, more defined, more beautiful, athletic muscle that isn't too bulky. Now, I got high five for the women who want to get bulky, but I know a lot of women in my community want beautiful athletic muscle that looks lean and tight and feminine. That tends to be the language that the women in my community use. If that's you, let me know. And so still, it comes down to a conversation of your body composition. Here we go. Your body weight is made up of muscle, skeletal tissue, bone, connective tissue, which could be related to soft tissue, obviously organs, and water. Now, what really matters when it comes down to how much energy your body needs in your metabolism is how much of you is muscle and how much of you is fat. We're also very concerned with your bone density, but how much of you is bone is a slightly different conversation. What we're interested in is what percentage of muscle are you? And I find it so interesting because when people get body composition tests, they immediately look to what percentage of body fat am I? That's where the conversation tends to go. But really, the question I want you to start focusing on is, how much muscle am I? How much of my body weight is muscle? And that is what we refer to when we talk about body composition. What is your body made up of? What is the composition of your body weight in kilograms or pounds? How much do you weigh in space? And how much of that weight is muscle? Because the more muscle you have, the smaller you will be. All right, I'm going to say that again because it's confusing for a lot of people. The more muscle you have, and the reason why I say you is because if you're in my community, I have a pretty good understanding of who you are. If you are someone who wants to be a CrossFit athlete or a bodybuilder, you probably wouldn't be listening to me right now. I know the women in my community, and the way that you will ultimately have better body composition and become smaller is to increase your lean muscle mass. That leads to an improvement in your body composition, and healthy body composition is one of the markers of longevity, and your reduced risk of disease. It really comes down to, are you a healthy body composition measure? Do you have a healthy amount of muscle in relationship to the fat that you have? And the way that gets determined is by how much muscle you have. So the name of the game is to get more muscle. I promise you, you're not going to get bulky unless you try. And even if you try, there's a good chance you're not going to build more muscle than you actually want unless you're really trying. I have a lot of women in my community. Heidi, who's here with us today, is one of them. Jennifer is another. She might be here with us today. I am one where our goal, Laura, I don't know if you're here. My other Laura, are you here? Linda, I've got a lot of you. Rona, it's a goal that I have for you. There are many of us in my community where we are fighting and strategizing every single week on how can I add more muscle. Me, you would never think it looking at me. I do not look like a muscular woman, right? So same for Heidi. I can speak for Heidi. I know some of you don't know what Heidi looks like yet, but you will. It's hard to build muscle. If you are a woman over the age of 38, building muscle is hard. It's not going to happen by accident for you, I promise. And even if you're trying, it's going to be real hard to get more bulky than you actually want to be. So if you set your primary goal to be to add lean muscle mass, Your whole life from now ever is going to be better. You're going to have a faster metabolism, which means you're going to burn more calories and more fat while you sleep. For real. It's a real thing. You get your metabolism up while you're sleeping, you will burn more calories. It's one of the best secrets. And when I was in college, first learning about strength training, that hooked me. The concept of, you mean I can burn more fat when I'm sleeping or when I'm sitting here with you? That was very intriguing to me. And that is what piqued my early interest in learning how to help women strength train to get lean. Because it really is the holy grail. It is the panacea to pretty much everything that you want, especially if getting lean is in one of your top 2 goals. Luann, hello. I'm so glad that you are here. Checking in. I'm at work and you look great as always. I don't have my glasses on because I have a new camera and I can put my monitor at a different place. I don't have to wear my glasses. So hopefully we'll keep this camera working because doesn't it look so much better? It's a real camera. Back on track. So here's the deal. When you are on a path to get lean, number 1, your top chore and goal is to build lean muscle mass. The more muscle you build, the leaner you will be, most likely, okay? It's not a direct correlation, but most often in application and reality, I find it's true. When I put muscle on women, they tend to more naturally lose body fat. They tend to lose body fat and get leaner. And when you are strength training to get lean, chances are your body heaviness is going to get heavier by adding muscle. Okay? When we increase the amount of you that is lean muscle mass, it's going to increase how heavy you are. That's a good thing, but that tricks the scale. And that is why there's a big difference between losing fat and losing body weight. Losing body weight doesn't necessarily mean you're getting better. Now, some people do need to lose body weight. Even still, if you set your goal to be to gain lean muscle mass, you're going to get smaller, you're going to get tighter and leaner, and you're going to burn off body fat. That's why you get smaller and tighter and leaner, but that's going to happen at a relatively heavier body weight. So if you're interested in strength training to get lean, the first thing you have to come to understand is to look at your bathroom scale differently or get rid of it altogether and start to rely on body composition analysis through either a bod pod or a DEXA scan, circumference measurements, ideally taken by someone else, and photos. Those are really, and also actually I'll add a 4th one, how your clothing is fitting. Because if you have a piece of non-stretchy clothing, like stiff denim, or maybe linen pants, or non-stretch cotton pants, if you've got a piece of clothing that doesn't stretch and it gets bigger over time, you're getting smaller and tighter. Good chance you're getting leaner if you follow the things that I teach here. So it really is about bringing that lean muscle mass up because you're going to be smaller. I can't tell you how many of my private coaching clients say to me, actually last night I had a call with one of my private coaching clients and she said, maybe you're here. Hi, I won't reveal your name. And she said, well, okay, so I think we've seen a 10-pound loss on the scale with her. Right around 10 pounds at 8 weeks into her program. But her clothes are falling off of her. So her body has actually gotten smaller than what we're seeing on the scale. Part of her goal is to reduce her body weight. So we're keeping an eye on how much she weighs on the scale. But she's got some non-stretch clothing. She is a professional and she's got other clothes other than yoga pants. I know a lot of us wear stretchy clothes these days, but she has a pair of jeans that she hadn't been able to wear for a while. She put them on and they're loose on her. So your clothing is a great way to measure your progress. And it's really important to cultivate a different relationship with your scale, or get rid of it altogether. If you really don't care about your body, how much your body weighs on planet Earth, get rid of your scale and start to judge your progress based on how much of you is muscle. That's what I want to know. Tell me, I don't care what your body fat is. How much of you is muscle? And let's start to measure that going forward. And if you start to measure that with a bod pod or a DEXA screening, and you start to keep an eye on how much of you is muscle, you're going to get leaner. You're going to be smaller and tighter and leaner at any body heaviness number. So I really encourage you either to get rid of the scale if you can, right? Like, I literally don't know how much I weigh, don't care how much I weigh, and I haven't weighed myself. Okay, I went to the doctor a month ago and I made the choice to look away. I asked her not to tell me. I don't care what I weigh on the scale. I don't care. I was like, I don't even want to know. I don't care. And I don't want it to factor into anything within my conscious awareness. So it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. All that matters is how I feel, how healthy I am, how I perform. I like to look good. That is true. I do want to look good. So therefore, I do keep an eye on where my body fat is just visually, but I don't know what the number is really, right? So if you're able to just get rid of your scale, get rid of it. And if you know, or if your doctor has said that in order to be optimally healthy, you need to lose 20 or 30 or 40 pounds, having a scale can serve as a device measurement for you, but you have to cultivate a new relationship with it. It can't trigger you emotionally. It's just a silly device. It has no real meaning. It's just feedback. And the truth is, better feedback is how much of you is muscle. So let's talk about 4 steps to get lean using strength training specifically, because I could help you get lean through your nutrition. I could maybe help you get lean through cardio. Maybe I could probably help you get lean through yoga. But today we're specifically talking about 4 steps to getting leaner through using strength training according to my philosophies. And if you're new to my community, please say hello. If you're watching this in playback, if you are here with me live, say hello, of course. And if you're watching this in playback, this was recorded live on Facebook. I'm here every week on Facebook, Hot Tea with Holly, 1 o'clock East Coast time, Holly Perkins Fitness on Facebook, but you can also catch this on YouTube and on my website, hollyperkins.com. So if you're new to my community, please leave a comment below or click the link that you see below if you're looking for a free resource in order to help you strength train better. I have an incredible resource called a 6-week strength and cardio plan that is great if you want to make sure that you're on a smart strength training plan for whatever your goals are, to feel better, to get stronger, to perform better, to run a marathon, or to get lean. Let's talk about getting lean. Holly Miles, hello. I was just going to send you an email, my sweet friend. You're very thoughtful and very generous. I so appreciate you, and I will be coming back to you with an email. I'm so glad that you're here. Andy, give me an update. Give me an update. How are you doing? Andy is not drinking at the moment. Okay, so we've got pineapple juice. We've got white vanilla grapefruit tea. We've got PG tips. What else do we have? Who else is having a beverage? Share your beverage with me. That is it. Andy's not having any beverage. I hope the rest of you are drinking some water. Let's jump in. Okay. 4 steps to get lean. Number 1, take a guess. Add muscle like your life depends on it. Because, my friend, it does. It does. It does. Your life depends on your muscle. Take some time to think about it. This isn't just about getting lean. Do you know that your skeleton, your bones, your joints are held up in space because of your muscles. And what happens if those muscles are weak? What happens if those muscles are out of balance? You're out of balance. Your joints are out of balance. You can have brittle bones, and if you've got strong muscles, those muscles are going to hold your bones in place. Okay, so if you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia in your family, if you've got diabetes in your family, if you worry about being deconditioned as you get older, your lean muscle mass will save the day. So step number one to get lean is to strength train like your life depends on it, because it does. It really does. I know this sounds a bit hyperbolic. Is that a $10,000 word for a Pennsylvania girl? Hyperbolic? Hyperbole? Am I using it correctly? I may not be, but it sounds a bit alarmist, but it really is true once you understand the science behind muscle. Strength train like your life depends on it. I want you to be strength training at a bare minimum twice per week, 35 minutes each. Bare minimum. That's not enough to build your lean muscle mass. If you really are interested in adding muscle, you've got to be doing at least 3 strength training workouts per week. What the protocol looks like is what I specialize in, and that's where it gets a little more colorful, a little more complicated, but that is why I created my free 6-week strength and cardio plan. So at least you've got a place to get started. If you're watching this in playback, look for a link somewhere on this page. You can click and get it for free. So your strength training protocol really does matter, but I just want to plant the seed that in order to get lean, you've got to be strength training at least 3 times per week. Maybe 4 times per week, not necessarily more than that. And if you do like strength training 5 days per week, that can happen as well, but more is not always better. You have to make sure that you're on the right protocol. If you're strength training more than 4 times per week, you need to be following a program. So most average normal women, 3 to 4 times per week is where you need to be to get lean. Step number 1, add muscle like your life depends on it. Step number 2, be measured in your cardio. Listen up. Get your notebook out. Get your red pen. Cardio does not make you lean. It doesn't. It doesn't. If you have been using cardio to lose weight and to get lean, let me ask you, is it working? No. It never does. Unless you are very advanced. If you are more advanced than me, then you might be using your cardio in a very strategic and measured way. And if you use it in a measured way, at times we can use it to burn off body fat. But it's not the primary strategy. Strength training is your primary strategy to get lean. So when it comes to cardio, I do believe cardio is very important. It's important for heart health. It boosts your mood. It helps you recover from other workouts. It feels good. And yes, it does burn calories. And if you do it right, it can burn fat. But if you do it wrong, it burns carbs, not fat. So you have to be very measured with your cardio. What does that mean? That's where we need to have a longer other conversation, or you work inside of one of my coaching programs, because that's where we get very specific about it. Whether that's the Nutrition Project, the Glutes Project, the Next Level, Strength Society, we don't talk about it so much, or the Masters. So I basically have 5 programs right now, and 4 of those will cover how to get lean and the specifics on how to use cardio. But really what it's about is being measured with your cardio and not just going after cardio haphazardly, not doing it mindlessly, having a very specific intention. And every single cardio session should have a prescription of your heart rate range based on the kind of cardio that you're doing. So if you're doing intervals, there's a heart rate range. If you're doing a longer walk, there's a heart rate range. If you're doing a 35 or 40 minute steady state session, there's a heart rate range. You need to be measured in your cardio. Otherwise it gets catabolic and it literally deteriorates and gobbles up the lean muscle mass that you were working so hard for in step number 1. Step number 1, add muscle like your life depends on it. Step number 2, be measured with your cardio. Step number 3, this is a good one. Leave your workout worked. Leave your workout worked. If you are leaving a strength training workout, either at the gym or at home, if you're walking away from your strength training workout and you don't feel worked, you're not going to be stimulating your body and your muscle enough to get leaner, well, to really build muscle so that you can get leaner. It's possible you could get leaner, but to really build muscle, you have to be leaving your workouts worked. And that means there needs to be a certain intensity and a certain protocol to your strength training workouts. Again, this comes down to the nuances of programming, your strength training programming. Now, you don't have to have one of my strength training programs, but you really should have a strength training program that's built for your goals and built by someone who knows what they're talking about. Not just someone you like following on Instagram, not someone who you just think is interesting, someone who is a bona fide, credentialed expert in strength training. Okay. These days, there are a lot of personalities out there that we love them for different reasons. That doesn't mean they're an expert in a certain aspect of your health or your fitness. So it's critical that your strength training program is designed for your goals. And then you've got to be leaving your workout worked. This doesn't necessarily apply to your cardio workouts, but it absolutely applies to your strength training workouts. You've got to be leaving your strength training workout worked. When you walk away from a strength training workout, you should look back at it and go, whew, I put some effort in. My muscles are tired. That was work. I pushed it a bit. Now, I don't want you to leave it all on the gym floor. I don't want you to leave the gym almost unable to walk unless you're advanced. Some of you who coach with me privately or are inside of one of my programs, I will guide you in that, Heidi, one of these days, Rona. But most people, unless you're advanced, you just want to walk away from your strength workout worked, not crushed. Okay. You'll hear that a lot out there in the industry. Like, oh, I crushed that workout and I could barely leave the gym. My legs were so wobbly. That has a time and a place when you're very advanced, but it is important that you're leaving your workout worked. Step number 4 in my 4 steps to get lean today. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Get your notebook out if you don't have it. I've never really covered this in detail, and I'm going to cover it in detail for you right now. Okay, you ready? Step number 4 in my 4 steps to get lean covers exactly how to increase your effort level, your resistance, your weight loads during your workout. So you'll often hear me say, I want you over time to increase your weight loads, because that is how you get stronger and that is how you build lean muscle mass, which is the number 1 goal, is to add lean muscle mass. And in order to do that, you have to be pushing or pulling harder effort levels. And that usually comes down to weight load for the most part. Okay. So exactly how do you increase your weight loads? Because how do you do 15 pounds if you can't do 15 pounds? It's a question I get on a regular basis. One of my coaching clients just asked me about that, asked me about it last week. I think it was on Thursday. Okay, it was bicep curls we were talking about. And she's like, I can do the 12 pounds, but I can't do 15. So how do I get stronger? How do I increase my weight load on this exercise? If, there goes my eye twitch. Can you see it? My eye starts to twitch if I don't wear my glasses. It's the weirdest thing. Anytime I'm here and I'm doing this, I'm doing a live video, my eye starts to twitch, you guys. I might need some extra salt. I hope you can't see it because it might be kind of creepy. Let me get back on track. So exactly, right? How are you going to do 15 pounds if you're currently at 12 pounds and you can't do 15 pounds? So how do you do it? Let me tell you how to do it, but I'm going to put my glasses on because I think it might help. Let's see if that helps. Oh, good. I don't think you can see my eye twitching. Okay. Exactly how to increase your weight loads. Here is my methodology that works brilliantly. First and foremost, your job over time is to increase the amount of weight that you're using on all of your exercises over time. Okay. And there is a really straightforward way to go about it. You start with an exercise. Let's say leg press if you're at the gym, or goblet squat if you're at home. Those are interchangeable exercises, in my opinion. So if you don't work out at a gym, a goblet squat's a great substitution for a leg press. And let's pretend you're currently at 30 pounds on your leg press or your goblet squat. How do you get to 40 pounds? How do you get there? First of all, you follow your strength training protocol. The program you're following is going to tell you how many reps to complete. But let's pretend right now in your programming, you're striving for 10 repetitions. Or let's pretend that you're new to strength training and you're beginning your education and your experience of your own body at getting stronger. You're going to start with 10 reps. So you'll arbitrarily find a weight load where you can complete 10 repetitions, where the last 2 repetitions are challenging, are a little bit sloppy. The last 2 repetitions have to be a bit sloppy. If they're not sloppy, you can use a little bit heavier weight load. If they're really sloppy, or if more than the last 2 repetitions are sloppy, you might want to reduce your weight load. So let's say you're completing 10 repetitions at 30 pounds. For a period of time, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to perform that exercise with 30 pounds for 10 repetitions until those last 2 repetitions get more comfortable. When those last 2 repetitions get comfortable, you increase your repetitions to 12 repetitions. Now, this is just one protocol you can use, but this is sort of a foolproof, very safe, very effective way to build lean muscle mass and increase your weight loads. There are other ways of doing it. So if you coach with me privately, or if you're inside of one of my programs, I might teach you differently because there are different ways of doing this. But right now I'm speaking in a public forum and I'm providing free information to the public, thousands of people. So it's a bit more generalized here, but this is a very straightforward, foolproof approach to getting stronger, to building your lean muscle mass through increasing your effort level during your strength workouts. So you start with 10 repetitions at a certain weight load. In this example, we're using 30 pounds. So on your goblet squat or your leg press, you do 10 repetitions at 30 pounds. When those 10 repetitions get easy, you're going to start performing 12 repetitions at a weight load where the last 2 repetitions are hard, are a little bit sloppy, until they're no longer sloppy. Then, once those last 2 repetitions look better and you get stronger, you then increase. I know you can hear me, and we're back. Then, when those 12 repetitions get more comfortable, you're going to increase to 15 repetitions at that same weight load. 15 repetitions at 30 pounds in this example until those 15 pounds are comfortable, until the last 2 repetitions of those 15 look good. Then what do? Then you drop your reps to 10 and you increase your weight load. You go up to 35 pounds and you start the cycle over. So in this example of goblet squat or leg press, we're now at 35 pounds for 10 repetitions until that gets easy. 30 pounds for 12 repetitions until that gets easy. 30 pounds for 15 repetitions, 35 pounds for 15 repetitions until that gets easy. We go to 40 pounds for 10 repetitions. Follow? So you go 10, 12, 15 repetitions at the same weight load until it gets easier. Then you drop the reps and increase the weight. It's a beautiful, foolproof way of getting stronger very gradually so you can determine how much muscle you want to add. Because I do honor and respect those of you guys that are nervous about building more muscle than you want. This way, this protocol, this approach, you're not going to build more muscle than you want, because you'll get to a point where you reach a weight load and you like your musculature and then you just maintain. Now that definitely does get a little bit more strategic, but that's where you really do need to work with a coach when you get to the point of maintenance. But that is a very simple, but very effective, safe, foolproof, effective way to increase your resistance levels, your weight load, so that you can build lean muscle mass, so that you can use strength training to get lean. And this is exactly how I do it. This is how I do it. So in the next few months, I'm really excited to make an announcement. So I, on the DL, opened up a new coaching program, which is already sold out. So this isn't a pitch to enroll you into my coaching program. It already sold out. For those of you guys that are part of the Masters, it sold out in a record 6 days, I think 5 or 6 days we sold out. So I am going to be following a program here for the next couple of months, and I will be sharing some of my journey with those of you that follow me here on Facebook. If you're on my email list, I'll be sharing some updates in my email list. But I'm going to be sharing with you my journey over the next couple of months to really improve my physical ability, to improve my athleticism, to really reach the body that I want. And even though I'm perfectly happy with where my body, well, I'm not perfectly happy with where my body is right now. My body's in a good place. I want to be better. I want to be stronger. I want to be more fit. I want to be more resilient. I want to add some muscle. And so I'm going to be doing that over the course of the next 12 weeks. The rest of the year, and I'm going to be doing it inside of my small group coaching program, The Masters. And so if you are inside of The Masters, welcome. I'm so excited that this is going to be such a fun journey. And yes, The Masters is now officially closed. So I think today there was one spot left, and I think today that spot is now gone. So we are officially sold out, which is super, super exciting. But I will be sharing a little bit more of the behind the scenes on how I do it, but I'm going to be using a lot of the things that we just talked about here today. Questions and comments. Let me turn it over to you. Those of you guys that are here with me live on Facebook. My eye stopped twitching. It was sheer willpower. So now I love bangs, but that's the problem with bangs. They get wonky very easily. Okay, who's with me here today live? Please say hello. I'm coming for the comments. Let's see here. Heidi, you're so sweet. Thank you. You and the camera look fantastic. It's the camera. It's not me. Let's see here. Sammy. Hello, Holly. It's Elizabeth, and I'm drinking PG Tips Gold too. Sammy. Girl, are you still here? Okay, let's talk. Are you British? Because not too many people know about PG Tips Gold. I've talked about it before. But those of you guys that are interested in PG Tips, gold is the way to go. It's so much better. So you can find PG Tips in most grocery stores. I don't know if you can get it at like Costco, but you can get it. I think you can even get it at Trader Joe's. Like you can get PG Tips in a lot of grocery stores, but it's harder to get the PG Tips Gold. I have to order it off of Amazon, but the Gold is everything. It's my favorite. So this is PG Tips Gold today. Sammy, tell me, are you British? Because generally it's only my British friends that are familiar with the Gold version. Barbara, are you still here? Barbara Veffer. If you're still here, Barbara asks, ooh, let's do this. I forgot. I can bring my comments on camera now. Barbara and her sweet little dog right there. Barbara asks, what about 60 and older? Same philosophy with strength training? Menopause sucks. I hear you, Barbara, and it does. Menopause is a doozy. It's a conversation I have all the time with the women in my community and my private coaching clients. It's a doozy. It's no joke. It's not for the faint of heart. And I promise you can get through it. I will also promise that strength training is your best friend as you navigate the years from about 46 and beyond, where your estrogen levels are changing. Strength training will ease every aspect of your changing hormone levels. And to answer your question, Barbara, 60 and beyond, absolutely 100%. Everything I teach you here is really, I specialize, you guys, in women aged 37 and up who are interested in using strength training and intentional nutrition to really build the body that they want. And so all of my conversation is specifically geared to women 37 and up. I have a really substantial percentage of my clients, my personal coaching clients, women that are in my programs that are over than 60. I'm really proud of that. I have a lot of women in my community over 60, in their 70s. I don't think I have anyone in their 80s just yet. Maybe. I think I might have a couple of people in their 80s, but 60s and 70s, absolutely. And I very specifically create the information and the content I share with you in mind. So everything that I talk about here, Barbara, in regards to strength training absolutely applies to you if you're over 60. And in fact, the protocol that I just shared in terms of getting lean and getting stronger and increasing your weight loads through that little rep scheme that I just taught, Barbara, is a perfect way for you to go about it. So pick up some weights, perform 10 repetitions at a weight load that's challenging. And over time, you'll increase your repetitions until you're at the point where you're doing 15 repetitions per set and it gets comfortable. Then it's time to increase your weight load. Barbara, that is an awesome question. Sammy, PG Tips, not tops. Gotcha. I know you, girl. Rona's drinking water. Good girl. So proud of you. Barbara, I can't find the link. Please share. I will do that, Barbara. Give me just one moment and I will share that link with you. Absolutely, Barbara. If you're here, let me see if I can do it. Fingers crossed, you guys, because I don't know if I can. You know me. Sometimes I'm really good with technology. And sometimes it fails me. I think I just did it though. Copy, I just did it. Okay, Barbara, if you're still here, and those of you guys that are here with me live, I am posting, there is the link for you to download my free 6-week strength and cardio program. Barbara, it will be perfect to get you started. Click the link, hollyperkins.com. I will show it to you guys. /offer. So if you go to my website, you can just Google search Holly Perkins and it will be the first thing that comes up. hollyperkins.com /offer. And that is where totally 100% free, you will get access to my 6-week strength and cardio program. Those of you guys that have been in my community for a while are aware of it. Probably next year, I'm going to offer a brand new resource like this. I'm going to update this program. So keep your eyes open next year for a new 6-week strength training program. It might even be an 8-week strength training program. So for those of you guys that are here with me live, there is now a link here in the comments. And if you're watching this in playback, you can also navigate here, or there should be a link somewhere upper below, probably below on this page or in the comments, especially if you're watching this on YouTube right now. But that is the link if you would like to grab that free resource. And yes, it is perfect for women of every age. Sammy, I saw a study yesterday. Why am I reading this? Let me just bring it on. I have this new software now that I can just bring your comments on. Sammy, thanks for sharing. I saw a study yesterday that showed that resistance training increases estradiol even in older women, as well as growth hormone and testosterone. So it's HRT, 150,000%. So for those of you guys that don't understand the language, estradiol is the good estrogen that we want as we are moving through those years when your estrogen is fluctuating. So for those of you that are looking at bioidentical HRT, estradiol from a bioidentical source is generally the estrogen that we supplement with. I'll be honest with you guys, maybe this is a little TMI. I am actually on an estrogen replacement, bioidentical estrogen replacement right now, as per a very gifted and beautiful doctor that I have. And it has been absolutely essential. Okay, guys, are you ready? I'm going to share a doozy of a comment right now, and I can't believe I'm going to share this. This is a doozy. This comes with a disclaimer and a warning, especially to those of you guys that aren't intimately connected to my conversation and my community. So I had a wonderful conversation with a very gifted, very prominent medical doctor who is my doctor, who specifically is a woman and whose specialty is female aging through the years. And she technically is an OBGYN. She's so gifted. And we were talking about the concept of the shift in female hormones. And we were talking about the concept for women who are facing a hysterectomy, or who have had a hysterectomy, or who face any kind of uterine problems. And I couldn't believe she said this, but she said, and I quote, if it were her, and she's now, I think she's in her 60s, she said, if it were up to me, I would choose to get a hysterectomy before I would choose to not take bioidentical hormone replacement. That's a doozy of a statement. She said that's how strongly she feels about estrogen replacement and bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. She, if it were her, would rather go through a hysterectomy than give up her bioidentical hormones. That was powerful. And she's an incredible, like I said, I pay a fortune to work with this doctor, and it took me a long time to find her. She's brilliant. So back a little bit on topic here, but Sammy, absolutely. There are a lot of evidence-based research studies that show resistance training improves the hormonal profile for women. It improves testosterone. It definitely can help to boost growth hormone, and it can absolutely help to improve all of your estrogen levels, the good estrogen, the bad estrogen. So even strength training can help neutralize those bad estrogens, because there are estrogens that are not so great. Absolutely, without a doubt, in my history of coaching women, I have now had 2 women in my community and private coaching clients who, because of strength training, had to reduce the amount of hormone replacement therapy, HRT. They had to reduce their amounts because their testosterone kept inching up a little bit higher and higher and higher, and their doctors had to reduce how much hormone replacement they were using because the strength training was improving their hormonal profile. That's how powerful it is. It's really, really powerful. And like I've talked about before, I don't necessarily always talk about, all of this research in terms of why strength training is so powerful, but there is just tons and tons and tons of information and research out there that supports all of the myriad health benefits that come from strength training. Okay, Amy Losh. Oh, my apple pie tea. she's having, which is an oolong. I absolutely love. Okay, wait, Amy, I think we've talked about this. Where do you get Oh My apple pie? Did you tell me it's Celestial Seasonings? Is it Yogi Tea? Celestial Seasonings? No, they don't make an oolong. Where are you getting Oh My apple pie? I need to know. Amy says, some praise for you. Just this week, I watched a couple of lectures on menopause and fitness. I love it. More and more healthcare people are saying similar things to what I've been hearing you say for years now. It's really true. And thankfully, the medical community is catching up. Thankfully, the medical community is starting to educate themselves on this conversation because it really is one of the best things that you can do for your health. And thank goodness the doctors are waking up to this information. Sammy, I'm going to share this because he's actually Sammy, I don't know if you're a man or a woman. I can't tell from the photos, so apologies. I don't know if you're a he or a she. But Sammy is sharing an actual research citation here, International Journal of Health Sciences study on postmenopausal osteoporotic females, 2019. Amazing. I think Holly's style of training is very similar to the type of training that got good results in the study. Thank you for that. I'm going to make a note of this. International Journal of Health Sciences, 2019. I'm going to look it up. I've got a huge folder of research that I keep. Actually, I'm going to screenshot you right now, Sammy, just FYI, because I want to make sure that I've got that. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Hey, Sammy, if you happen to have that link, put it here. Let's put it in the comments if you happen to have the direct link so people can share it. Heidi, thank you. Andy, for me, there's a definite connection between strength training, specific body aches like sciatica, IT band, knee issues, and just aches in general. So yes, my life does depend on it. That is, if I'm regular with strength training, I feel good. If I don't, my body feels so vulnerable to the slightest mishaps of living, i.e. tripping, an unexpected move, my eye twitches on occasion. It's annoying and yes, kind of creepy, but I like staring at it in the mirror and watching it do its thing. Oh my gosh, I know, right? It only happens when I'm having to shift my focus from a camera to my computer to my notes when I'm not wearing my glasses. It's the only time it happens. So it's clearly an eye muscle issue, right? And as I've aged, I used to have better than perfect vision. And certainly as I've aged and spent too much time on computers, I've become more farsighted and my near side vision is not great. Thus the spectacles. I hate having to wear spectacles, you guys. Hate it. Makes me meh. Okay. Luann. Oh, Elizabeth, Sammy. Oh, Elizabeth. I didn't realize that was you. Okay. Okay. Got it. Beautiful. Thank you. So, well, no wonder you're drinking PG Tips Gold. I didn't realize we are even more sisters than I even knew. That's right. PG Tips Gold is where it's at. In fact, I was introduced to it by a British friend of mine. That's how I first found it. So Elizabeth, share that link, or if you want to email it to me, do so, and I will share it with everybody. Holly Miles just turned 62 in August. Good for you. Never thought I would be strength training at this stage in my life. So proud of you. Cannot imagine not doing it. Although some days I'm very tired, overall, I'm proud of my success with your program. I'm so proud of you, Holly. Holly follows the Glutes Project, just FYI, for those of you guys that are curious. Holly, if I can make a suggestion, as any of us get older than about 50, strength training becomes more and more critical. So on the days that you get tired, if your fatigue is coming from your workouts, it's one thing. If your fatigue is just coming from general fatigue, I really encourage you to double down on your building of your muscle. Because again, your muscle holds you up in space. And so when our muscle holds our body up in space, that also helps to improve energy and reduce fatigue. Double down on that strength training, you guys. It's everything. Thank you. Elizabeth is going to email that link, you guys, and then I will share it. Paula Hart, how are you? Oh, Paula. Paula's drinking roasted dandelion tea. See, isn't this funny? That's why it's hot tea with Holly, because if you know me, you know I am just particularly obsessed with hot beverages. I had to have been a barista in another life. I am obsessed with hot beverages of all kinds, caffeinated and not. And so I just love to hear the variety in beverages that people make. And it doesn't have to be hot beverages either. But I'm just always so interesting. And even just from the people who have shared today the tea that they're drinking, we've got quite a diversity in terms of the types of tea. Paula, I think I'm a huge fan of roasted dandelion tea. Those of you guys that aren't familiar with dandelion tea, I don't love the flavor of it. It is more of a medicinal herbal tea, less so of a tea that you drink because you love the taste of it. Some people do enjoy it, but dandelion tea is wonderful because it is a natural diuretic. It naturally lets your body release some of what we call interstitial water fluid. It's the extra water that your body doesn't need. It's the inflammation. It doesn't dehydrate you. It's a diuretic in a very productive way, and it just helps your body release a little bit of extra water. So if you had some sushi or if you're feeling like your body is a bit inflamed, roasted dandelion tea is amazing. It's also an adaptogenic herb, so it's just good for your health in general. Interesting. I never thought about that. I wonder if it's the unroasted. I have never really asked myself if I like one over the other, roasted versus non-roasted. I know I use them interchangeably, and I know what I have in the kitchen right now is roasted, and I need to drink some. One other tea suggestion is licorice root tea. You guys have heard me talk about licorice root tea. I do not like the taste of it, but it's so good, especially for your B blood types. Rona, it's a great tea for you. Andy, it could potentially be a good tea for you. I think you're an AB or a B. Licorice root tea is an amazing adaptogenic herb as well. That is it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for a lively conversation. I love having you here. Thank you for being here live with me. Thank you for being my community. I love you. I cherish you. I know you know that. I do everything that I can to support you guys for free and to provide as much free information and resources as possible. Oh, by the way, I offer a free live strength training based workout almost every Saturday, totally free. If you ever want to join us for a free workout or get access to the recordings, come on over and visit me at hollyperkins.com/free workout. You can sign up to join us for a live workout. And even if you don't want to come live, signing up for this free series will give you access to the recordings. And I think we have, how many do we have now? 100 of them? Well, let's see. If there's 52 weeks in a year and I've been doing it over a year, we probably have about 60 or 70 at this point. That's unbelievable. Free workouts. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Tracy, yes, I'm on Messenger, but I'll admit I'm not as on top of it as I should be. Feel free to send me a message. I'll keep an eye out for you. Sometimes I don't check my messages for a few days, just FYI. So yes, if you'd like to join us for a free workout, come visit me at hollyperkins.com/free workout. And I will be here next week for another new episode of Hot Tea with Holly. It'll probably be nutrition based. So if you are interested in learning more about using intentional nutrition to really create the body that you need to keep up with the life that you love, I hope you will join me next week. Okay, Tracy, I'll look for it. So good to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.